Hello, Rotarians. Today we're going to be talking about another part of our Epic Awards, which is creating a social media calendar. Also, no, I am not in Roanoke, Virginia. Amber and I are in Fairbanks, Alaska right now. But let's talk about a little bit about planning and our goals for our social media calendar, because your goals are going to be very specific to your club and where you're actually at. Our goal is not to set a bar that's impossible to reach. We just want to take where we're at and do a little bit better. Now, that could be as simple as you need to create a social media profile. It could be you have one and you don't post to it a lot. But let's talk a little bit about, what I see. And actually, I say this is for Rotary, but I see this with company pages also. Is first of all, we have the company or the Rotary websites that every single post is somebody standing in front of a podium. That doesn't tell people a lot about what we do. Then we have the ones that present the check, and checks are important, but when every club, every post is a check, that doesn't give a lot of variety to what it does. So we want to try to create a variety of posts, and Rotary Zone 33 and 34 have given us some excellent tools to do that. Now, most of y'all don't know what I actually do for a living, and even if I explained in this video, you still wouldn't know what I do. But the majority of our leads for our training do come through social media, particularly for us YouTube. That doesn't mean you need to start a YouTube channel. But even then, we don't post the same thing over and over. And so we kind of have a format of 3 different styles of videos. We have discoverable videos, we have community videos, and then we have what we call a sales video. And if you're trying to get a member in or you're trying to get a donation, that is a sale. And kind of our format is we make 2 discoverable videos, then 2, oh, my mind just went blank. We make 2 discoverable videos, 2 community videos, and then 1 sales video. Yeah, the cold is freezing me, and don't worry, I'm going to go in a second, but it was so beautiful out here. I was like, I'm just going to come out here and just start this video out here. Now, the big thing about doing it in this manner is I know we all want to get members. We're like, member. But this makes it where our discoverable video kind of lets people know, hey, what is Rotary about? Or what is our particular club about? What is our passions? And then we have, a couple community. That kind of gives people an opportunity to, give their feedback on, what they think about what we're doing. And then finally we have that sales one where it could be come to an event, could be come to a club meeting, but we kind of do a little bit of each one of them just so they're not always seeing the same thing. Now, before I go inside, one other very important thing is posting on your Rotary Facebook page or you're in whichever social media you're on is more of internal social media. That is letting your members know what's going on. If you don't get them to share what you're posting, then it's not actually going out to potential members. So be thinking, how can you get your members to share what they're doing in Rotary or share what's on your page? And I know a lot of people get on me about this, but I say there's nothing against a good bribe. And I know a lot of people say, we call that incentive stems. But no, we'll bribe. That's cool. Get a gift certificate. Whoever does the most shares this month, gets a gift certificate to this, or gets, noticed, or maybe you do a Paul Harris match for them. But let's figure out fun ways that we can get our members to share what we're doing. All right, I'm gonna go inside for the rest of. We're going to start by going to Rotary Zone 3334.org. And we're going to be in this focus area. And over on the right, we have public image. And we're going to go to the Epic Award task. And notice we also have the Epic Award status. We're going to check it out at the end of this. So we're going to go into the task. And we are doing the September task. Now we're creating a content calendar. Now, notice your July, August, and September are all due on October 31st, so you got a little bit of time left. But I'm going to tell you, even if the date is passed, go ahead and go through this content. This has been amazing, both for me as a Rotarian and for my company. So we're going to go into the September task, and we're going to start off by putting our contact info in. And I am in Zone 33. I am in District 7570, and my club type is a Rotary Club, and my club name is Rocky Mount. And then you have a club title here. Go ahead and select yours, or if you're not President, Secretary of Public Image, you can just type it in right there. And next, it's going to ask you which social media channels do you want to focus on. And what I'm going to say is, don't check all the boxes. Check the ones that you really feel that you're going to want to engage on, because I see a lot of us out there, we have pages for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, for everything, and then we don't post to them. And that makes people think that our clubs are dormant. So one, and we learned about this in a previous Epic assignment, is you have these ghost pages, as they call it, or, abandoned pages. Either start posting actively or go ahead and deactivate them. It's perfectly fine to deactivate a social media channel that's not in use. So I'm only going to focus on Facebook and some local media. So I'm going to check those too, because local media, this is a great way for us to get out to our community. So our Facebook frequency, and here's where I don't think we need to post daily, but if you're not posting at all, maybe you just start off by posting monthly. If you're posting monthly, maybe we work to weekly. Or, and if you're posting weekly, maybe we're going to stick with weekly, and we're just going to try to mix up our variety a little bit. For our broadcast media, we're going to do quarterly. We're mainly going to try to feature some of our community events. We'll hit next. And so now the Rotary Zone 3334 has done an excellent job of helping you out here. It's not only are they asking, what are you going to do in July? What are you going to do in August? What are you going to do in September? They're also telling you, one, what is the theme for that month? This is really easy, low-hanging fruit. And then they're also highlighting some special events that you could easily highlight. So what I'm going to try to do this year is I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of the international and a little bit of the local. So one, for Rocky Mount, our big event is the Independence Festival. So you're going to find July and June, we have a lot on the Independence Festival. So we're going to have that final push in July for it. We're going to thank our sponsors. Also, we have a new president coming in about that time. So we're going to thank our existing president and give a little introduction to our new president. But all right, on this fourth one here, we're going to hit Maternal and Child Health Month. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I just want to highlight some of the variety of things that I think would be good. So maybe an upcoming club social. We're going to have a district grant, so we're going to be talking about how is our district grant going, and also we're going to feature some members from time to time. And I think the member highlight is an excellent way to, one, highlight a member and show your appreciation of them, but also tell what we do as Rotarians without just saying, this is what we do. So we're going to highlight a member. We're going to make them feel good. That's going to add to membership retention because, a lot of the members sometimes can feel like it's, if it's a volunteer organization, that can make you feel sometimes like it's a thankless job. So it's going to make them feel good. And yeah, people are going to be like, wow, that's some really cool stuff they're doing. I ought to check it out. September is Basic Education and Literacy Month. And okay, here's a good example. I could do something from the Brand Center, or I could talk about something locally, or I could do both. So we have a teacher scholarship at the Rocky Mount Rotary Club. So I'm going to highlight it in September. And then we have literacy from the Brand Center. That'll be something I just pull right off the Brand Center. We're going to talk about the Brand Center in just a second. And then we have the Moo Crew. That's another one of our exciting local events. And then we're going to mix another international into it. Okay, so this is the first mention of Brand Center. And I think this is a great resource right here when you need to highlight something internationally and you don't know where to find it. So we're going to go back to RotaryZones3334.org. And we're going to go back to the focus areas. We're going to go over to the public image area, and we're going to go to useful links and tools. And there is some really cool things right here. And the one we're going to highlight this time is the public image toolbox. So I'm going to click on it, and we're going to scroll down a little bit. And there's some great information here. You can look through all of them. I'm not going to bore you with. Actually, I'm going to stop right here. You want to create a content calendar? Well, here's some cool ways you can do it. In fact, they have a template right here. This Google Sheet template's really good for doing it. Buffer you could use to do some scheduling. There's some other scheduling apps out there. Me, I'm just doing them by hand, so I'm just doing it in a little document. But down here, under Cool Tools, we have Brand Center, templates for flyers, social media, and more. We're going to click on it. And then on our tab here, I'm going to go to the Downloads tab. And then we have an asset type. I'm not going to worry about that right now, but if I was looking for just an image, actually, and then we have an asset type. And if we were looking for something particular, such as an image, then we could check this box. I'm going to leave this so we see all of them. But then we have an asset subtype. And okay, we're trying to figure out what to post. So I'm going to select social media. And then campaigns. Just so we see it, I'm going to say that I need something for In Polio Now. So I'm going to select In Polio Now. And I'm going to hit that apply button. And okay, right away, this is a good, bold, simple message. I'm helping eradicate polio. This is already done for you. You can download it. You can post it. You can put a little mix into it. Maybe you're going to have a Pints for Polio event. But yeah, these are excellent posts already ready to go for you that you should definitely utilize. Now going back to our calendar, I just want to highlight a few other things I was thinking. Again, we're going to highlight things, in this case, volunteers needed. There's a lot of people out there, hey, I just want to I don't want to be part of a club. Okay, well, here you go. We need some help pitching some wood and splitting some wood. And maybe that gives them enough good feeling that they decide to come to a meeting. And then if we go on down a little bit, let's just talk about some of the other events that might jump out at you. We're going to sprinkle the member spotlights throughout. We're going to promote district conference. And notice here, we also have the Rotary Convention. Now, here's a good example. We don't want to put these side by side because that would cause confusion. So we're going to put one of them in. And about 3 weeks later, we'll post the other one. Also, as we are doing projects such as our district grant, don't forget to update the community and let them know how it's going. All right, once you get all that filled out, we're going to hit the submit button. And then let's go talk about where we're at as far as getting our EPIC award. So we're going to go back to focus areas. And then we've been in EPIC award task. Now let's go to EPIC award status. And here we can see first we have by district. But if we go down a little bit, then we have by club. And there's a lot of scrolling to go up and down through here. But if we just hit Control F, then we can type Rocky Mountain. And in my case, I have to be careful because there are a couple of Rocky Mountain clubs, but we are 5774. And it says that we now have completed 3 tasks and we are now bronze. That's so exciting. And finally, if you haven't noticed, there's some great resources we're tapping into at the Rotary Zone 3334 website. And they have some really good informative sessions. And we need to sign up to get notifications of those. So let's scroll to the top of Rotary Zones 3334.org. And we're going to stay informed and inspired at the very top. And then we're going to fill out our name and all that good info. And down here, notice we have membership, public image, foundation, and general information. Now, I've been focusing mostly on public image, but what I would say is check all 4 of these boxes. If you decide you don't like them, you can unsubscribe from them individually later. That's it for this one. And let's check out what we will be learning about next. Back on our EPIC Award task, if we look down here, our October task is going to be about Learning Center. So we're going to complete the public image section of Learning Center. Now, if you have not been to Learning Center yet, then that is another wealth of information that just prevents you from having to do a lot of extra work. They've already done it for you. So I'll see you over there.